Welcome to Secrets to Alignment with Savannah Schaffer. I am here to equip you with the belief and energy to make your dreams a reality. Take this time to fill your cup and align with the most vibrant version of you. Hello and happy Monday. I hope that you are kicking off your week feeling amazing. I am recording this on a Thursday and I actually just now checked today and I realized that we are almost at 1,000 podcast downloads. And when I saw this, my mind was blown. I just want to say thank you guys so freaking much, especially to the people who are engaging with the podcast and are sharing it on their stories and just showing other people that this is something that can help them. It makes me so happy. And I just feel so grateful knowing that this is impacting not only you guys, but it's impacting your friends and your family and just the people that you guys love as well. So thank you for taking that time. I know that there are so many people out there that want to be heard, and I appreciate you guys continuing to listen, to share, to like, and always engage with me. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please continue to ask questions and just let me know what kind of topics you guys want being covered. Today's topic specifically is actually inspired because I asked you guys on Instagram what you are needing support with, what you guys have questions on, and I got this question and I'm so excited to talk with you guys about it. So just remember that you guys can always submit questions to me and I will come and support you in whatever that I need to. The question was how to summon the courage to approach a guy in the gym. I get nervous and I'm so close to approaching him. She added a little bit more context, but she essentially was asking me about how I got the courage to go up to Tyler when I did and like how I did that and how I approached it and all these good things. And once I received this question, it got me thinking a ton about confidence and worthiness and of course courage as well. And so that's what this topic of today's podcast is all going to be about, is your confidence, how you're showing up in the world, and the energy that you are putting out. So in honor of that, I'm going to rewind us a little bit and just kind of go back to what was going on in my life when I actually met Tyler, because I feel like this has a lot to do with this conversation. So back in 2022, I was living on my own. I was kind of in this era of like just really showing up as my best self. I remember at this point in time, I was taking like hot girl walks every single day. I was meditating. I was journaling. I was reading by the pool. Like I was truly living my dream life. I was making a full-time income off of social media, which was so freaking awesome. It was supporting my entire lifestyle. I felt so amazing during this point in time. And I just remember kind of attracting not only like a lot of experiences into my life, but also just like men giving their number to me like randomly. And I just was kind of glowing with confidence and just really feeling myself. And I feel like it was really shown externally. And if you don't know the story, I actually walked up to Tyler in the gym and I ended up asking him for his number after seeing him there a couple times and asking him how much he was lifting and having a little conversation and whatever. So when I actually got the courage to actually go up to him and talk to him, I feel like it was just something that I just went ahead and did because I figured the worst thing that he could say is no, which actually isn't that bad. So why not just go ahead and ask? And I just decided like, I'm just going to see what's up. Let's just see what happens. And so I went to go ask him. And then after that, he got my number. I texted him Savannah Schaffer, and then he responded back to me, "Good morning, gorgeous." And that's when we literally never went a day without talking after that, which is so crazy. But I feel like because of the energy that I had when I approached him and just how I was showing up, even when I'm in the gym, I feel like he could have just taken my number and literally never texted me ever. But he actually decided to go forward with like giving me a compliment and then us meeting up like later that week, going out to a bar and all these different things transpired just from that one interaction and me taking a leap of faith. Now, you guys see, we have a daughter together. I'm living in his home. Like, we are completely involved as a couple. And if I wouldn't have shot my shot, none of this would have happened. If I wouldn't have taken that risk, none of this would have happened. There was a lot of habits that were contributing to the confidence that I had at that point in time. I was just feeling on 10. Like, I was feeling so good because of all the habits that I commit to and I have in my life and I make sure to show up for every single day. And I simply only do those things because they make me feel good. And that consistency, it builds confidence. It's you keeping the promises that you make to yourself over and over and over again. When it comes to taking bigger actions in your life, you're naturally not going to be thinking of them that much because you're always in a constant flow of constantly doing things for yourself and taking risks and actually committing to the promises that you're making. So you are going to continue to attract these experiences, these events, these people into your life by what you internally believe that you are worthy of. So this is where the conversation of confidence and worthiness gets brought together. And I feel like you really can't have one without the other. If you have confidence without worthiness, then your confidence is great, but then you're thinking all these different things in your head. You're not thinking that you're good enough. You are constantly undermining how amazing you actually are. And you're just filled with a lot of doubt. But externally, everyone's like, you're so confident. How do you look like this? How do you talk like this? How do you do all the things that you do? You have that confidence externally, but internally, you're just kind of talking down on yourself constantly. Now, if you have worthiness, but you don't have confidence, it means that you're going to internally feel like you have got it and you bring it all to the table. But then when it comes to actually like showing up in the world, you're showing up small. You're not walking through the gym with your head up being confident. You're walking through the gym with like your head down. You know, internally you're like, yeah, I'm a badass, but like you don't really want other people to know that. You are just kind of holding back actually what's within you. And so when you couple both of those together, you've got that self-confidence and you got that worthiness. That is like the perfect mixture for magic right there, because you're feeling so freaking good internally. You're getting that validation externally, that recognition externally. You're also giving yourself the recognition of, I am freaking amazing and I deserve to be with a man who values me, or I deserve to have this job that I absolutely have been dreaming of for all of these years, or whatever it is that you're wanting to put yourself out there towards or with or whatever. You are going to do that because you know internally that you are so worthy of all of the best things in the world. And this is a hard thing to actually work through because a lot of us live our lives kind of tearing ourselves down. And this is something that even I have struggled with as well, because I am so rigid and I am so committed and disciplined and all of these things. It also leads me to any time that I slip off the track or I'm not committing to one of my goals or I'm not on it 100%, I instantly can feel really, really lazy or like I'm not doing enough, and I can get in my head as well. So you've got to have this perfect balance. And that's something that I still am working on, where like I'm giving myself love for simply being who I am, and not because of my accomplishments, not because of my productivity, just because I'm actually just a great freaking human being. And that is amazing in itself. And that makes me worthy of accomplishing great things. That makes me worthy of attracting great things and putting myself out there in the way that I actually desire. So when you think about all the relationships that are in your life and the opportunities that you're attracting, you are attracting what you believe that you are worthy of, but you are also going to attract people in your life that reflect what you think of yourself. So for example, if you really, really love yourself and you are feeling that internally, it's not just an affirmation that you're saying of, I love myself. It's truly you accepting yourself just as you are, giving yourself so much love. If you are constantly doing that, you are going to reflect that externally, and people are also going to feel that from you. And that is so nice. That's the best. It's the best to have that recognition and people be saying like, you are such a loving person, or whatever it is that you're actually feeling personally, they are going to also feel that from you. And this is also super important when it comes to knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is literally going to be such a key piece when it comes to your self-confidence. And if you are aware of the reason that you do things, why you think the way that you do, why you react the way that you do, the more that you know yourself, the more that others get to know you as well, the authentic version of you, not the representative that is showing up for this specific interaction so that you can get their approval or make them like you. This is actually the most vibrant version of you. This is the best version of you that everyone deserves to see. But a lot of times it's kind of covered up by like this mask that we put on so that we can fit in with the people around us, so that we aren't being too loud, we're not being too much, all of those different things. They all just tie together, and you have to make that distinction to show up as yourself because you know yourself. And it's so important because this energy that you're carrying is literally going to radiate externally, and that light that you're shining is just going to be so bright that it's going to attract all the things that you truly do desire. Now, confidence is a physical thing, but it's also an internal thing. So you have to be making sure that you're actually taking care of yourself the way that you personally need. So for me, I know that going to the gym makes me feel more confident because I'm working on my physique. I feel confident in knowing that I'm building muscle, and I look good when I look in the mirror. I feel good when I look in the mirror. And so that physical aspect has to be there, and it does play a part in your confidence. For me as well, like I like to get ready on the days that I know that I'm going to be like blasting myself all over social media. I like to get ready. Some days I don't, of course, but I like to feel put together because that's what makes me feel my most confident. For example, like I love to have my nails done. I like to have my jewelry on. I like to be in a cute outfit. All of those physical aspects also make me feel just a little bit more put together and a little bit more confident. And like I carry myself so much differently if I'm in a matching sweatsuit versus like a sweatshirt and sweatpants that don't match with my hair up in a bun or whatever. Like it's just the tiniest little things of just wearing a matching suit that can make a big difference. And so you just have to find out what that is for you and what allows you to show up the most confident. For me, like I love going to the gym in a new workout outfit. It makes me feel so confident. It makes me feel so good. And it makes me get a really, really great lift in, because if you look good, then you feel good. Now, on the internal side, you also have to be doing the work that's necessary to allow yourself to feel worthy. And if you grew up in a household where you were constantly being judged or looked down upon, or people were just constantly making comments about either the way that you looked, the way that you thought, the way that you expressed yourself, all of those little things, those can actually build up long term and keep you dim and not allow you to show up as the most vibrant, brightest version of yourself. So if those things are still a struggle for you, those are just belief systems that you have to shift. It's not a big issue whatsoever. You can totally do that work personally. And I know some of the most unconfident people become the most confident people just by getting to know themselves. For example, one of my clients, her name is Emily. I did just need to add in here, my client Emily, she gave me permission to share about this. I promise you, she knows that other women have gone through very similar experiences, and she wants to make sure that I am sharing about these things because she understands what a big impact it made in her life, and she wants to make sure that it's not making an impact in other people's life in a negative way as well. So just know she gave me permission. I would never, ever, ever air out everybody else's business without having permission, I promise you. But I just needed to throw that in here. Okay, back to the episode. When we first started working together, she was really struggling in the confidence department. She has gone through a lot personally, horrible things. Like she's gone through sexual assault. She's really been in some hard situations. She's also dealt with just like bullying in her childhood, and also childhood trauma with sexual assault as well. So there's just been multiple things that have happened to her in her life that would lead her to not have high self-confidence. And I completely understand that. Like, I get what it feels like to not believe in yourself, to not feel good when you walk into the room. I completely understand. And so we did a lot of work dealing with all of the past traumas that she's experienced. And I cannot even tell you how beautifully this woman shines right now because of the work that we've done. And it has not been easy. Like, we have absolutely cried together on calls. We've laughed together, of course, as well. And we've also had some of the most difficult, disturbing conversations, but they allowed her to fully process what she has been through so that she can shine bright, so that she can become the best version of her. And it is so important to do that work. So if you notice that you are dealing with self-confidence or self-worthiness and you really can't shake it, that probably is a signifier that it's something internal that you still need to work on and just kind of free up that space and that energy so that it's no longer attached to the person that you are. Because really the problem here is just that you're identifying with that version of yourself that wasn't confident at some point in time. So for me personally, I could identify with the version of myself that was always made fun of, and people were taking videos of me in class, zooming in on my nose. They were making Instagram pages literally of Savannah Schaffer's nose. Like, I had so much that I went through throughout middle school, and I laugh about it now, but I remember going home literally crying to my parents and going to the dean's office and constantly reporting all of these different kids in my class that were taking photos of me. And it was so freaking much. And a lot of that did stay connected to me. Like, I felt extremely insecure, not only about my nose, but then it also ended up bleeding into other areas. And I just ended up like realizing these connections just as of recently. Like, there are so many different ways that these tiny moments in time, years and years and years ago, for me, that was 10 years ago, those moments in time where you were affected by something emotionally, your body does store those events. Your body does hold on to those things. And so you're not going to just be, I'm not going to be self-conscious about my nose. Maybe that same insecurity is now showing up in a different area of my life. It's making me hold back on not actually going after the things that I want because I'm scared about the judgment that other people will have of me, or just anything else really. There's all these different ways that our brains kind of connect things that really don't make much sense, but once you start to do this work, you start to understand, wow, I was really connecting my insecurity in this area, and then it was bleeding into the way that I viewed myself in my relationship, or the way that I viewed myself in friendships, or the way that others viewed me when it came to the way that I was showing up on social media. So you just really do have to identify like what is actually there and what is not, what is real and what is not, and how can you literally disconnect or completely work through those past experiences so that you can be the best version of you. If you want others to think of you highly, you must think of yourself highly as well. And this is where you really have to do the work to shift that inner dialogue. And it can be challenging, especially if you've gone years and years and years without actually working through these things and without realizing there are things that you are saying to yourself that can actually be harming you. It's going to take some time. So be graceful with yourself and know that this does take time. And all you have to do is just put one foot in front of the other and just start by recognizing these things. And I promise you, if you do that with repetition for years and years and years, you are going to get to a point where it has no hold on you, but expect it to take some time because, like I said, you have been living this way for 20 years already or longer than that. And it's going to take some work to actually deprogram all of these things that have been programmed into you since you were a child. I think that one of the most attractive qualities and something that really builds confidence and worthiness is being someone who is constantly evolving. So I remember when I met Ty in this point of my life, I was constantly listening to podcasts. I was always reading. I was always just changing and shifting my mindset, learning so much about myself. And I even remember the first time that I came over to his house and like we hung out. And he was just asking me like the regular like first date questions that guys ask. And I would not stop like telling him about everything that like I'm focused on, what I'm into, what I know about myself. Like I was just firing off so much. And when I look back, I'm like, damn, I really talked this man's ear off. But in the way that I did it somehow, like I remember him looking at me and just being like literally amazed. Like and just being like, this girl's 20 years old and she knows all of this. Like, what the heck? But it's just because I've been doing that work and I was so committed to my personal development journey. And I think that all men find that attractive. Men find women who have self-awareness so much more attractive than women who are just kind of going about their days and they're just like floating around doing whatever. You have to have that relationship with yourself, and other people will see that as such a high quality because a lot of people don't really have that relationship with themselves. Now, something that I'm being a lot better with is celebrating my own wins. I think for the longest time, I was just kind of moving moving and just continuously on this winning streak that I was never taking a second to just recognize like how far I've come, what I've done with my life, what I've created, how much I've actually developed as a person. And I am now in the stage of my life where I am celebrating every single win. I am celebrating all of the promises that I keep to myself, big and small, because I know that if I don't do that, then I start to feel like I'm behind. I start to get in my head. I start to doubt. I start to literally overthink absolutely everything. And so I've had to make that conscious shift to look at all of the things that are going right in my life versus all of the things that are going wrong. And when you start to do this, you will start to realize that there are so many things that you can be grateful for. There are so many things that you can celebrate and so many things that you are doing on a daily basis that mean so much. So continue to celebrate every single thing that comes into your life as a win, because you will continue to manifest so much more of that. Sometimes you just have to remind yourself how fucking amazing you actually are. Last but not least, I asked Tyler what his advice would be for this specific question. And his advice was just do it. Nike said it best, just do it. Stop overthinking, stop thinking about all of the different possibilities, all of the different ways that it could go. Just do it. Just put yourself out there. Go for that risk. Go for it, because you absolutely have no idea how much greatness is on the other side of you shooting your shot, whether it's at the guy at the gym, the opportunity in front of you, the person at Starbucks that you like their shoes and that ends up leading to you talking about speaking, and who knows, like things are always working out for you. And when you can just be in that flow state of showing up with love, with light, happiness, and joy, so much is coming your way, babe. And that all starts with you feeling amazing, you feeling good. You have to feel good. And that is where all of the greatness really comes from. Oh my gosh, I just saw 333. It is 333. I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. I am so grateful for you being here. Please continue to send me your realizations. Tag me on Instagram whenever you guys are watching the podcast or listening to it. Please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and leave me a review. It means so much to me, and it actually allows me to be improving a lot more lives and helping so many more people if you do share or if you decide to leave a review. So please do that. Also, if you did not know, my Masterclass is this upcoming Thursday, the 12th of September. I am so excited to get into this topic. If you guys are enjoying any of these podcast episodes, you will enjoy this masterclass. I know it 100%. Make sure that you are there. There is a link in the description down below that you can RSVP on. You can join us live, or you will get the recording if you're not able to. I also am going to be doing a huge giveaway for this masterclass. So anyone who gets on and shares it, you are going to be entered into this giveaway of a ton of self-care items and just things that you can use to fill your cup. And I'm just so excited to be able to give back to all of you guys for everything that you are continuously giving to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I can't wait to talk with you next week, and I hope to see you on this masterclass.